Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to the Soul Sync. I have a big question for you today. What is love? Is it the warmth of a parent's arms? Is it being told, I'm proud of you? Is it encouragement when we no longer believe in ourselves? Is it acceptance, being seen for who you truly are and not being asked to change? Is love being chosen, being desired, hearing someone say, I want to spend my life with you? Is it a hand reaching for ours in the darkness? A message asking if we've arrived home safely? Someone staying when life becomes difficult? Is love passion, friendship, forgiveness? Is it feeling completely safe in another person's presence? Or have we mistaken attention for love? Desire for love, being needed for being valued? And what happens when the person who was supposed to love us could not? And so we go searching for love. We search high, we search low, we search within ourselves, and quite often in entirely the wrong people. We search on, we go in crowded rooms, across dance floors, through dating apps, and in the eyes of strangers who have barely learned our name. We analyse messages, we wait for replies, we convince ourselves that ha-ha means chemistry and a heart emoji means emotional availability. We say we are not looking for anything serious while quietly wondering whether this might be the person we marry. We ask the universe for a sign and then we ignore the 17 red flags because they are attractive. We search for love in attention, in sex, in success, in being admired, in being needed, and in being chosen. Sometimes we even search for it in people who have made it perfectly clear that they have absolutely no intention of giving it to us. And still we keep searching because beneath all the trauma, the bad decisions, and the unanswered messages, most of us are simply hoping to find someone we can finally feel safe enough to be ourselves with. We search for it in horoscopes, tarot cards, and personality tests. We ask our friends what a message means, even though deep down we know exactly what it means. We download the apps, delete the apps, and then in a moment of weakness, download them all over again. We tell ourselves we are focusing on ourselves now, usually about 20 minutes before checking who has viewed our profile, because the search for love can make even the most sensible among us slightly unhinged. But perhaps the places we go looking for love and the people we choose to look for in it tell us something more important. Perhaps they reveal where our search really began. So on we go, my dear, back to where it all began, to my earliest memories of love. Could I have made any more of a grand entrance before telling you this story of how I came into the world? I started off with the surname Jason McCants when I was little, 1987 when I was born. Yes, I'm a Virgo. Yes, September. Yes, 9/11. And yes, after that, I never felt the same about my birthday again. Almost wanting to sort of give my date of birth quite quietly. But yes, my very first memory of being born, I guess, well, as we all do, our mums tell us this, but the story as I believe it goes. So my mum was working. She was 18 years old. She was lodging from a landlord whilst working. The landlord happened to then be my dad. I was born in northwest London, and upon coming home from the hospital, my mum straight away noticed all of her belongings and what she had for me on the doorstep. Looks changed because he, stated that we couldn't pay rent. So there we go, we were out. And over the years, I did meet him a few times, but I always found that he just wanted to talk about himself, quite frankly. And I always felt like I was doing the dirty to my stepdad, who basically took me in at 1 year old and always sort of treated me and my brother exactly the same. But he would struggle a lot with his own relationship of love. And a lot of the time throughout my childhood, I was kind of looking outside of myself and always kind of answering questions like, why is it, I don't feel affection a lot of the time. And it was very difficult as well being gay, because even when I was sort of discovering that about 12 years old. And it was very difficult because I was trying to hide it because it was almost a source of bullying, calling people gay then. And my experiences were okay, but I absolutely hated PE. I was just very concerned that I was having feelings towards boys because it wasn't as it was now. There wasn't even the internet, really. I remember we had AOL dial-up, but, you know, if ever I was on that for too long, I'd be told off because it would cut the phone lines out. So, and it cost a lot. And also, if we all used the computer. So the last thing I wanted to do was to be Googling. But I have found that, of course, those formative experiences in my own life have very much shaped my own relationship with love, and I think I searched outside of myself for it for so long. Even on my dad's side of the family, my nan, they were from a very different generation, and I will never forget one time she said, you know, we accept you. And it was the way, you know, it was kind of said. And I, you know, even the thing it was made a figure of was, you know, very difficult for me because it was kind of like I didn't feel accepted. But, you know, on my mum's side of the family, you know, I was kind of embraced with open arms. So, but these formative experiences, of course, shape everything. School got very difficult for me because when I was about 14 years old, we moved to an area called Rochester, which is next door to a town called Chatham, where actually, interestingly, the word chav derives from any of our English listeners. It's a very interesting word, chav. But that's actually where I happened to go to school, and it was an all-boys school, and I really did struggle there because it was a very rough school as well. Another interesting fact, it was actually in the bottom 3 secondary schools ever. I later found out, thanks to a BBC News article, they bulldozed it down. And I tell you what, no one was chaining themselves to the gate of that school when they were. But that experience made me almost need to sort of suppress and hide the fact that I was even that way inclined. So even on top of that, I was sensitive. I've always been sensitive, but I've always attributed that sensitivity to being gay, not necessarily being, you know, someone who's got mediumship and natural psychic kind of faculties, because I've always picked up on things. But if anything, I was always trying to suppress that. But I want to take you back now to a time when I was 16. I had a friend, Sam, at school who I didn't really sort of talk to too much, actually, until I left school, because then he told me he was gay, but I would never have kind of really thought that in school because we were always hiding that part of ourselves. Oh, hey, Sam. It's so lovely to see you. How long has it been? 6 months now since we left school? What are you doing? Well, I'm going to college. My mum, you know, thinks that would be a good thing for me to do. I don't really know, but I have got this job part-time at a restaurant. You know, it's only washing dishes for now, but, you know, it pays okay. I think it's about £5.20 at the moment. How are you? Oh, really? Yeah, we must swap numbers. We must. And, yeah, it'd be lovely to do something. Yeah, let's do it. Message from Sam.
Do you want to go to London? Friday night. There's a gay venue. It's called the Astoria. It's gay men only, and it's amazing.
My mum's never going to let me do that. I'm not 18 and neither are you.
Just say you're staying at my house. I've got this contact. He's a gay man. I've met him online.
What do you mean you've met him online?
On some website, you know, gaydar. Have you heard of it?
Yes, Mum, I'll come and help with the washing up in a minute. Yes, I have, but I haven't been on it.
Yeah, of course you haven't.
Okay, I have.
Well, anyway, do you want to come Friday night? There's an act playing, and I've been talking to this guy. He seems really nice.
Have you actually met yet?
Yeah, of course we've met. What do you take me for? Honestly, Jason, he's so lovely. Honestly, you're going to love him. It's the Astoria. It's a gay club. It's just somewhere you can totally be yourself. And there's loads of us. Like on a normal night, honestly, there's like at least 500 gay guys. Can you imagine, Jason? 500 gay guys in one place being totally able to be who they are. It's honestly, it's amazing. I've heard so much about it, honey.
Honestly, Sam, you seem so much more confident now you've left that school.
Honestly, honey, they were keeping us prisoner there.
Okay, just count me in.
Fabulous, honey. Me and Paul will pick you up at 6 o'clock. Listen to your phone. Make sure you've got some facial hair because we're going to need to look 18.
Okay, Mum, I'm going to go stay at Sam's. I'll see you in the morning. I'm sleeping over. Okay, bye.
Look me in the eyes and tell me that.
Oh my God, this is so crazy. I can't believe we're driving all the way into London. I know, if my mum finds out, she's absolutely going to kill me.
Look me in the eyes and tell me that you
My date and my month of birth, 11th of September. And the year? Yes, I'm 18. And my address? Yeah, that's right, you got it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. Hi, I'm Jason. It's nice to meet you. Hi. Hi. Yeah, I'll take a vodka and Coke. Yeah, sure. I'll dance.
No way! Kylie Minogue! Sam, I didn't even know this mini-gaming could exist in one place. Yeah, I'll take another vodka Coke. Thank you so much. And what do you mean she doesn't come on till 1 a.m? 1 a.m? What time does she leave? What do you mean she doesn't come on till 1:30 a.m? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Kylie Minogue.
It was such a good night, wasn't it, Jason, honey? Yes. Do you want to go out again? I know it's only 1 week later, but, you know, he's offered to take us again if you want to.
Oh, Sam, I can't keep making up these excuses, but it was so much fun. I've just never felt like I've been able to be myself like that before.
Well, honey, Paul's moving away after this, so it really is now or never because I don't know when we're going to get a chance to do it again. And you only live once.
So my mum's going to kill me, but go on then. Thank you for the best night. It's so lovely to meet you. Bye, bye, bye. Well, it's safe to say that my view of love and what I believe love is has definitely changed from those times in the London gay scene, going out, discovering who I was and accepting myself for who I was. And I must say that that was something that was a big thing for me because in school I tried everything I could to hide my sexuality, hide my feelings for other people because it was a source of absolute harassment and bullying. So in those early days of even discovering Sam was gay, I didn't even know he was gay in school, and I kind of thought to myself after my days at school, how could I have not known? But it was because we were both suppressing that part of ourselves because the school that we went to ultimately was so rough. And I think a lot of my childhood always kind of having subconsciously somewhere within my body and within my mind a sense of abandonment from that of my biological father definitely has played a massive part in my relationship with self-love and also looking outside of myself for love. And I have to say, my biological dad, he was absolutely amazing, taking both my mum and I in and treating my brother and I exactly the same as one another. But I must admit, my dad was not without his flaws like often of us are. And I always feel that I want to speak, nothing but kind words towards my dad because he's come through actually so many times from the spirit world since passing. But he had definitely some trauma in his childhood, funnily enough, relating to his father, because he was brought up by a stepdad. And I'd never actually know the full story of what really occurred with my stepdad's biological dad, because of the fact that he would never really talk much about his childhood and earlier days. And actually, I don't know much about my dad's childhood or anything like that at all. And I would actually say that I've learned more about it since he's gone to the spirit world, because I've been very curious in asking those questions to my nan on that side. And actually, my nan, who is my dad's mum, has only recently started coming through from the spirit world, because about 2 years ago, she came through in a reading through another medium. And because we had a very strained relationship towards the end of her time alive, and so much so that I never even found out when her funeral was, but that side of the family, I must admit, they would often hold grudges, and you could have done something when you was 12 years old and that would have still been held against you in some way. And it was a difficult side of the family for me, because I always felt that, you know, I was different. It was very obvious that I was different, because they all had brown hair, brown eyes, and I was the ginger, curly-haired child. But that to one side, I always kind of felt that I was having to kind of work to earn love, admiration, and kind of acceptance from that side of the family, because it was very much a setup where, you know, they would want me to go to university, become a doctor, and the way that they would attribute success in life was all about the kind of social standing that you would get to. And I always used to look at the photos of the family on the mantelpiece, and the photos that had got to the highest shelf were the ones of the grandchildren that had managed, the children and the grandchildren that had managed to make it to university and whatnot. And I just kind of found that as I got older, more into adolescence, and as I went through my teenage years, I always kind of felt like me even being gay was a big thing. And I remember for so long not wanting to even let that side of the family know I was gay. And I think eventually my mum told my nan, and she said, well, of course we accept him for who he is. But all of that had a massive bearing on me, because for a lot of time into my late teens and early 20s, you know, I was looking outside of myself for a partner, which was very difficult, because back then, even being gay, it wasn't massively socially accepting. And, you know, before you can even find a partner, one of the biggest, most challenging things is to find someone who, you know, is actually gay. And how do you establish if someone is gay or not? Well, that's where the old gaydar comes in, my darling listener. You know, I do think that I've got a knack for being able to sort of spot if someone is gay or not. But, you know, it ultimately lent me to seeking outside of myself and feeling very lonely for a lot of my 20s, because I was seeking a partner, which actually got me to a place eventually where I ended up being with a partner who put me through absolute hell of domestic violence. And I very much feel that my low self-esteem and my lack of self-love at that point in my life, because I wouldn't be bubbling with self-love, because I would often have issues with body confidence. I would often have issues with, you know, the way I looked. And I think that the gay world doesn't really help that, because although you might think, yes, okay, it's probably very accepting because of how many gay people have been marginalised, I've always found the gay scene to be somewhat very judgmental, very cliquey. And, you know, one of the most difficult things was, yes, okay, I often didn't feel like I belonged in a normal school, in a normal setup, because of the fact that I was gay and very sensitive. But then at times I didn't feel like I belonged in the gay community either. So all of those things rolled in, definitely added into the mix of me feeling that I wasn't worthy of love. Love was something that I would have to, you know, forever be improving myself in order to perhaps feel. So I spent a lot of my 20s kind of looking for the right partner and whatnot. And it often led me to be with people that, you know, just wouldn't treat me in the right way. And, you know, my understanding of love now, having been on this journey of mediumship over the last 5 years, has really allowed me to understand that love is truly the only thing that really exists. And we find that out when we go back to the spirit world, because I believe that love is the only thing that exists. And when we go back to the spirit world, we believe we learn that, and we learn that love is the most important thing in the world, and acts of kindness are what really matter when we go back to that of the other world. And I know many of you are going to be sitting here listening saying, well, you know, how can love be the only thing that exists when there's so much evil in this world? Well, I would put it to you that a lack of, fear and all these horrible things that happen in life often are just a lack of love. It's just a lack of love. It doesn't mean that those things, really exist. It just means that there's a lack of love in that people's life at the moment. But, we're never going to truly know until we go back to the other world. But I truly believe that love is the only thing that exists. And even when we have our life review, as one of the first things that happens when we go back to the other world, we feel every single emotion that we have ever made another person feel, which is why, I try to lead so much of my life these days through acts of kindness and just exuding mass amounts of gratitude. And I know that love is just so powerful these days because, one, I would say I'm on an ever-growing journey to love myself, and that is an ongoing process. I'm sitting here now in a very different position as a single man, really wanting to, in some ways, have a relationship, but not because I need that. These days, it's very much I want to have a relationship because I want someone. In fact, I want companionship ultimately, but I have a lot of self-love. And equally, probably part of the reason why I'm single is because I'm not willing to just settle for someone that isn't the right person for the sake of wanting a relationship. Whereas back in my 20s, I might have very much have done that. These days, it's about me, wanting to be with someone for companionship and someone that's going to, enhance and enrich my life in some way. But, I do think I've got relationship blocks in certain fibres of my being that do relate to, my lived experience in the 20s. And that's ultimately what we are, isn't it? We are products of our past, products of our beliefs, products of our past experiences in the memory book, in the memory bank of memories that we've got as an individual. So, in this period of change for me, I'm really trying to work on some of those, limiting beliefs that I've got. And it's always hard. I do feel that in some ways, it's taken me a good while to even become fully accepting of my sexuality, because even at the point of starting my cabin crew job at Virgin Atlantic, where I must say gay people couldn't be more embraced at that company, did that for 3 years, but then left to go to the police, where actually I was once again bullied for being gay to a pretty extreme level. So these days, I'm very comfortable, of course, in my sexuality, and I try to really look and live my life through a lens of love, because that is the most important thing. But I remember so many times in my 20s having copious amounts of sex with different individuals, and just feeling empty on the inside, feeling dirty and feeling horrible, and then wondering, why am I feeling like this, even in the occasions when I am with people? But ultimately, I was seeking outside of myself for that love, and it got me into a lot of difficult situations, but that was part of my journey. And the reason I wanted to make this episode today is to tell you that love is the only thing that exists. It's so absolutely bloody powerful, but that journey of love starts with the self within, because if you don't have self-love, I don't believe that you're ever going to find a fulfilling relationship, because what's going to happen in that relationship is you're always going to be looking for reassurance, looking for copious amounts of that demonstration of love. But if you're not loving yourself within, ultimately I do think that you end up pushing that person away in some way through either jealousy, paranoia, anxiety, whatever it might be. So I'm going to leave you today on this rather theatrical episode with a beautiful piece of music. But love is a subject that I'm going to talk a lot more about, because it's so goddamn important.
In my head, in my heart, and in my dreams, they're all I've got. Take what you need for now. Whether it's me, whether we part just like the sea, we'll be together somehow. I know that love can be the loneliest sound, but I swear if you can trust me, I will show you how. While the whole world changes, I will love you always. We grow and rearrange, but I will love you always. Ooh, I know with time there will change. But I will love you always. While the whole world changes, I will love you always. We grow and rearrange, but I